I worked the night shift as a security guard at a private hospital. My job was simple: monitor cameras, patrol hallways, and respond if something looked off. I had been doing this for 6 months, and most nights were painfully quiet. One night, around 2:40 a.m., I received a call from the third-floor nurses' station. A nurse told me there was a patient wandering the hallway without a wristband. She asked me to escort him back to his room. That wasn't unusual. I checked the cameras and saw a tall man in a hospital gown, walking slowly toward the emergency exit. His movements were stiff, almost mechanical. I grabbed my flashlight and went upstairs. When I reached the third floor, the hallway lights flickered. The man was standing at the end of the corridor, facing the wall. I called out to him, "Sir, you need to return to your room." He didn't respond. I stepped closer, and that's when I noticed something wrong. His feet weren't touching the ground. Before I could react, he turned his head, not his body, just his head. His eyes were sunken, dark, and empty. No blinking. No breathing. I ran. Back in the control room, I replayed the camera footage. The man appeared on camera out of nowhere, no entry point, no room number. I called the nurse back, but she sounded confused. She told me there was no wandering patient and that the third floor had been empty all night. The next morning, I learned something that made my blood go cold. A patient matching that exact description had died in that hallway 3 years earlier, after trying to escape the hospital. Since that night, I refused to take hospital night shifts. I used to work the night shift at an old textile factory. The building was massive, loud during the day, and completely dead at night. My role was to operate one machine and monitor production logs. Every night at exactly 1:15 a.m., I heard footsteps behind me. At first, I assumed it was another worker checking on me. But whenever I turned around, no one was there. The footsteps continued every night, slow, heavy boots walking across concrete. One night, I decided to stop pretending it wasn't happening. When I heard the footsteps, I followed the sound. They led me to Machine 6, an old unit that had been shut down years ago due to a fatal accident. A worker had been crushed inside it during a night shift. As I approached, the machine turned on by itself. The emergency stop was pulled. There was no power supply connected. Then I heard a whisper behind me. "Don't stop the machine." I ran out of the factory without even clocking out. The next day, I told my supervisor everything. His face went pale. He told me that every worker assigned to night shifts near Machine 6 eventually quits. Before I left the job for good, I checked the logs. At 1:15 a.m., every night for years, production records showed Machine 6 running for exactly 1 minute. I drove a taxi on night shifts for extra income. Most passengers were drunk, tired, or silent. One night, around 3:30 a.m., I picked up a woman standing alone near a cemetery. She wore old-fashioned clothes and asked me to take her to an address across town. Her voice was calm. Too calm. As we drove, I tried making small talk, but she didn't answer. I noticed something strange in the rearview mirror. Her reflection was blurry, like static. Halfway through the ride, she leaned forward and whispered my name. I slammed the brakes and turned around. The back seat was empty. I panicked and drove straight to the address she had given me. When I arrived, an elderly man opened the door. Before I could speak, he said, "You saw her again, didn't you?" He explained that his daughter had died in a car accident 10 years ago, and taxi drivers often picked her up near the cemetery. The fare was still on my meter. And on the seat was a cold handprint, slowly fading away. I quit night driving the very next day.